What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Boyz Corner. Now, I know we haven't done a show in about a month.
It's been a long time, man.
I think August 4th was the last time we did a show. Just life, everything is going on, but we are started the new NFL season started an hour ago, and we are 3 days away from the Dallas Cowboys and Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I am super excited. I can't wait. I got a whole day planned, man. I got a whole day planned. How are you doing? How have you been? Introduce yourself.
What's going on, you guys? Welcome to the Cowboys Corner, or in this case, the Boyz Corner. Feels good to be back. Frisco reports on Tuesdays. Cowboy Blog and myself dual stream right here on Cowboys Corner. We got the Boyz Corner, and we also have the Half Table Show with Fifth Quarter Cowboys. That's also dual streamed. Along with this show is right here, is dual streamed on both of our channels. Also, 2022 technology, you gotta love it.
Oh yeah. Like I said, man, 3 days away from Tampa Bay and Dallas. I mean, it's the start of the NFL season. What do you have planned leading up? What is your whole day consisting of before the game? Well, what are you gonna do? What is your ritual that you're gonna do?
Yeah,
that you
man.
normally do?
For sure. So every game day, I usually get a fried braised pork from Schwann's Home Foods. You have to order online now. They shut a lot of depots down, so that came in the mail already. So I do fried braised pork tacos with some rice, some nachos, things of that nature. It's a tradition that I do with fried braised pork. So I'll be definitely doing that. And then nervous all day, get jitters. I'm kind of bipolar. I'm getting pissed off at the Cowboys, but then I get excited for the Dallas Cowboys, and I get pissed off again. Like if you see me on Twitter, you're like, man, this guy's bipolar. So yeah, that's basically my day. And then it's funny because the dinner table the other night, I said, hey, football Sunday night, girls. You're talking to my wife and my two daughters, and I'm like, y'all ready for football? They're like, no, Dad, we're not. And I'm like, what do you mean you're not ready? You waited your whole life for September football, and they're like, you yell too much. So
yeah,
I'm ready, but I'm ready.
Yeah, I know, man. My wife, she's not ready. I mean, my stepdaughter really doesn't pay too much attention. But now I got my son. He's gonna be sitting there. Well, I don't even know if he's gonna be with me watching the games. I'm gonna be live streaming the games, but Sunday, I'm waking up, depending on how big the brisket that I'm going to buy tomorrow or Saturday, depending on how big it is, depending on what time I'm going to get it started. So if I'm doing either a 10 to a 13-pound brisket, my butt's up at 3 in the morning getting the fire going because it's going to take about 13 hours to cook. And by game time Sunday night, it will be ready. I told my wife she needs to make her macaroni. But in the meantime, while I'm sitting here cooking, she's going to go to her parents' house. So it's going to be quiet all day, me yelling at the TV because I got my fantasy leagues that I'm in. So screaming for certain players to do well, going back and forth between certain games and then red zone because that's basically what I do until the Cowboys play. Then once the Cowboys play, I don't even pay attention to fantasy. I just sit there and watch the game and see what happens. So that's basically what my day's going to be consistent.
A lot of people like to text me while the Cowboys are playing. A lot of Fifth Quarter Cowboys, Cowboys Blog, Official Grizzly, Leo. He's one of my big followers. He's been there since I started YouTube 8 years ago. He has my number. Real good guy out of Arizona. Big time Dallas Cowboy fan. He'll text me during games. They get mad at me. They're like, you got to text it back. I'm watching the damn game. Commercial break. I'm pacing back and forth, man. I'm burning a hole in the carpet because I'm pacing back and forth. It's just what I do, man. And, I yell, I scream, I cry. I don't cry. Inside I do. It's football, though. It's the emotions. It's the roller coaster. And the Dallas Cowboys know how to give you a roller coaster season.
Oh, yeah. They've pretty much given us a roller coaster offseason so far. I mean, even the players, man. I mean, Tyron Smith getting hurt, and what do you think about that Jason Peters signing? I mean, is it more for depth? Do you think he's going to start? Because I've been hearing a bunch of different stories. It's either going to be Tyler Smith or it's going to be Jason Peters. So
No, it has to be Jason Peters. It has to be. Jason Peters has to start. And Tyler Smith has to play left guard. Why? It keeps Connor McGovern off the football field.
mm-hmm.
You can't tell me the Dallas Cowboys are content after they benched him for Connor Williams and was willing to settle for holding penalties with Connor Williams versus getting straight up beat by Connor McGovern. Now, that was last year. This year could be different. If Connor McGovern plays better, then Jason Peters can be your swing and your backup, right? But if Connor McGovern falls flat on his face with the competition with an interior D-line that the Bucs have is going to be really tough for McGovern. So he's going to have his work cut out for him. So as long as he can, if he falls flat on his face, expect Jason Peters to be starting lineup week 2. If he plays really good, McGovern, expect Jason Peters to be your swing tackle. It's going to be a mixture of those two, and it all depends on what Connor McGovern does against these Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Oh, yeah. So if McGovern doesn't play well, we're probably going to see Peters there at left tackle and Smith there at left guard then. Basically what's going to happen if all doesn't go well for the Cowboys. But on that note, yeah, man, I mean, it was I don't know, I get it. Like, we kind of knew that Tyron Smith was going to get hurt at some point. I mean, is it better that he got hurt now? Because, I mean, for the past few years, I mean, it's not, no secret that he's going to miss, 7 to 10 games or at least 5 to 8 games every year. It's what he's done the past 5 years. So, I mean, do you feel that is going to be, he's not going to be due back till December?
Allegedly. If the line's clicking, Tyron Smith ain't coming back. He played his last down as a Dallas Cowboy last year. Duke. Is Tom Brady playing? Yes, he's playing.
Yes, Tom Brady is playing. Awesome in sports. Thank you for joining. And Joey Shake says, I don't even know what the contract details are for Peters. Do you know?
$360,000 practice squad salary.
No, okay. So
That's all it is.
So, I mean, he's on the team, but he's on basically the practice squad.
He's making practice squad money. When they elevate him to it, the game checks are going to increase.
Yeah.
But it's a 1-year practice squad deal for $360,000.
Yeah. So, man, this defense seems like it's going to be the focal point of the Cowboys this year, which I'm excited about. Who do you have starting, either Dante Fowler or Sam Williams on Sunday?
It has to be Dante Fowler. I don't think Sam Williams showed me enough in the preseason. I know Balldanger, he can break down all these clips and not everything that he's done well and this, that, and third. He didn't show me enough. I don't think he showed the coaching staff enough. And he had a lot of snaps in the preseason. I think he got a sack. He had a couple of penalties. But you look at what Dante Fowler was able to do. Get a clean sack, no penalties, wrap up, tackle, things of that sort. Dante Fowler won that starting position, and that's who's going to be starting over Sam Williams.
I was scrolling through Twitter today, and I saw one of your takes there. So, what was it? CeeDee Lamb with 1,600 yards?
Yeah.
Nick Elliott with 1,400.
Yeah. My bold predictions, the Cowboys champ. We'll get to your question in just a minute. It was my bold predictions. Let me see if I can pull it up here real quick because I forgot what it was. Let me see. Give me 1 second. Gosh darn it. I don't know how to do this on the computer. There it is. Profile. All right, here we go. So it's pinned, so it should be right up on top here. So my bold predictions for the 2022 season is Cowboys lose 1 game in the NFC East. You can go back to last year for my 2021 predictions. I said the Dallas Cowboys are going undefeated in the NFC East. They did that. So this one, they're going to lose at least 1 game in the NFC East. Dak throws under 12 interceptions. CeeDee Lamb gets 165 targets, catches 140 of those for 1,600 yards. Zeke gets 1,456 yards total rushing. Not total, like he can catch the ball and stuff and get more yards, but this is just for rushing. And then Cowboys win a playoff game.
Yeah, those are some very, very bold predictions. With everyone saying that Zeke has, taken a step back, and then with his offensive line, this offensive line basically being unsure of itself. What is he going to have to do to get these 1,400 yards? I mean, is it going to be him? Is it going to have to be the offensive line creating these holes, or is it going to have to be a mixture of both?
He has to stay healthy. Tony Pollard was able to run behind the exact same offensive line and get a lot of big plays. So Zeke just has to stay healthy. He's an older running back in the National Football League. It's easier said than done. Will he have a chance to stay healthy? The chances of that is probably 80%.
Oh, okay. What was Cowboys champ's question? He had a question. It was besides Parsons and Diggs, what other defensive players will have to step up Sunday?
No, that's a great question, Cowboys champ. Big shout out. If you're not subscribed to Cowboys champ, go hit up my boy. Straight up great opinions, by the way. Shout out to Cowboys champ. Your interior defensive line. I'm talking about Neville Gallimore, Oso Digizua, Quentin Bohanna, Chauncey Goldston. A lot of these interior guys are going to have to step up. Tom Brady got a lot of distractions. Someone asked, is Tom Brady playing? I think he's playing. He has a lot of distractions off the field, so they're going to want to settle him into the game by running the football. And so you got to make Tom Brady one-dimensional, and your corners, once you make them one-dimensional, don't bite the play action and start picking off Tom Brady. And so your interior lineman has to be able to do that to stop that running game.
Yeah, I mean, I'm right there with you because, I mean, our interior defense.
The line ain't good, so they're going to try to establish some continuity and some of that stuff to get the offensive line rhythm going. So look for the Tampa Bay to run a lot early in this football game.
Yeah, because aren't they missing like 5 offensive linemen or is it 5 offensive linemen or is it just 5 offensive linemen or 3 of them got hurt this offseason?
Left tackle, right tackle, center.
Oh, the most important ones are hurt and gone. But so Joey Shakes asks, why didn't the Cowboys pick up a veteran wide receiver like T.Y. Hilton or Beasley? Is Jalen Tolbert the answer? I mean, I was kind of surprised with Tolbert. I don't know if it was just because, like we talked about with Fihoko, right, where you say the lights come on, he kind of just disappears.
Yeah, he's a cockroach.
I didn't see a lot from Jalen Tolbert in the preseason. A few drops here and there, but I was expecting a little bit more, considering what he did do in college. I mean, what are your thoughts on that? Why didn't we bring in a veteran wide receiver? I mean, I really don't think that Jalen Tolbert is the answer, at least not yet.
Yeah, the reason why they didn't is just Michael Gallup. It was in full path today, practicing limited, so they know that he's going to be back week 2. Mark it down. I already told you. Michael Gallup's going to be back week 2. James Washington's coming back next month in October, right?
Yeah, week
5. They drafted Jalen Tolbert in the 3rd round. You got CeeDee Lamb. It's hard to evaluate guys like Dennis Houston, Simi Fehoko, Jalen Tolbert. When you got Cooper Rush playing behind a shitty offensive line, it's hard to evaluate Ben DiNucci-Cucci, and it's hard to evaluate with Will Grier, right? Because these quarterbacks aren't Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott, you watch him in training camp, you watch him in everything when in those reps with Dak Prescott, he looks a lot fluent, he looks a lot better, he looks a lot more comfortable. And so it's hard to evaluate these guys in the preseason when you got Cooper Rush and when Will Grier throwing him the ball. It's just not going to work. It's hard to do. And so I think we'll see the better part of Jalen Tolbert with Dak Prescott as the starting quarterback.
Yeah, I'm hoping so. I kind of was thinking the same thing, that maybe with Dak Prescott being in the lineup this weekend or when actually playing, that we might see something different because it like you said, it's hard to evaluate these guys when you have second, third, and fourth string guys throwing the ball.
In the first game, you had 18 penalties.
Yeah.
The first
that was another, but they did tone it down. What they had eight the next game, and then they had I think 10 the game after that. I think something like that. But yeah, that first game was just atrocious, just full of penalties. But another question: what what player do you see being a sleeper for the Bucs and that we need to worry about on Sunday?
Any
I really don't know because I really don't know too much about what guys are on them on the team.
Yeah, any of them, for real. You got to watch any of them. They're playing the Dallas Cowboys Sunday Night Football in AT&T Stadium. Any player can emerge and try to get that second contract against the Dallas Cowboys. You know what I'm saying? Any player, every single one of them. There's 22 on the field. There's 11 on offense, 11 on defense. Any one of them can emerge as a sleeper. I mean, Mike Evans could take the top off on our defense just at a snap of a finger, right? So you got to watch everybody. You got to get the Cowboys. They can't slack. They got to stay on their assignments, dot their I's, cross their T's, and go play football.
Who will have more catches, Jake Ferguson or Tony Pollard on Sunday? Ferguson. I mean, do you find it surprising that they're going to move Tony Pollard out to the wide receiver spot, or is that just something they're doing?
That's Kellen Moore's not competent to. I don't know. I see something on my Twitter feed with David Hellman now that he's with Fox Sports and he's with Emmanuel Acho, and all those guys.
Yeah.
But he was like, they talk about featuring two running backs, but they don't do it. And I'm right there with David Hellman.
Yeah, what was it a surprise to you? Because I mean, you and I had talked about this, during preseason, here and there. But Dak Prescott not playing. I mean, you and I both said that he needed to get some reps in because he hasn't played since the horrible game against the 49ers. Why do you think he didn't play? Is it just to protect him because he was hurt last season? The arm throwing thing on Hard Knocks, and he hurt his ankle. Or his calf last year, and then it seemed like he tweaked his ankle again apparently today in practice. But why do you think he didn't play this weekend? I mean, this preseason.
Yeah, no. Mike McCarthy had a strategy of all these great practices, all these full pad sessions that they did, and Mike McCarthy felt like the ones got a lot of playing time in those joint practices, and determining on how hard they went and how hard they played will determine if they played in the preseason game. Mike McCarthy was comfortable enough of how – I mean, they went to Denver for joint practice. They went to the Chargers for joint practice. They traveled a lot in a short amount of time. And so you look at all that, and Mike McCarthy was comfortable enough from all those joint practices with the ones that was their preseason time.
Oh, okay, I got you. I do have a question, but I'm gonna read this one. What do you expect to see from Dak this game and this year? I was critical of him last year. He disappointed me a lot because in order for us to go far, he has to step up.
No, leave that question on there for Eshawn. That's my dude right there. Eshawn's my dude. I'm still waiting to get on a movie. I'm still waiting, Eshawn. No, great question, Eshawn. I expect a lot from Dak Prescott. You look at as Stephen Jones calls it, the pie. He takes a lot of it up. He does. And he has to step up and deliver as a franchise quarterback. However, when you let go of Lyle Collins, Tyron Smith gets hurt, they trade away Amari Cooper, he has to be able to elevate guys like Simi Fehoko and Dennis Houston and Jalen Tolbert. CeeDee Lamb has to step up his game. This is a first-round pick we're talking about, and he's wearing number 88. All these guys have to be there for their quarterback just as much as their quarterback has to be there for him. Everyone talks about how great of a leader Dak Prescott is. And he is. He shoots words out. He's very vocal. He can motivate guys, this, that, and the third. But when your leadership and your quarterback play don't intertwine, people like me and probably a lot of these players on this football team, it's like, your actions ain't speaking louder than your words here, buddy. And so you look at that. I expect Dak Prescott to elevate a wide receiver. Tony Romo did it for many years. I'm talking about guys like Kevin Ogletree. Who was Kevin Ogletree before he came to the Dallas Cowboys? I'm talking about guys like Laurent Robinson. I'm talking about guys like Cole Beasley, Miles Austin. So many players, Tony Romo, Patrick Creighton, Sam Hurd. so many players Tony Romo was able to elevate. I need that from Dak Prescott.
Yeah, I mean, you're 100% right. I mean, Dak Prescott needs to be. I mean, he does. He's making what, 40 million a year, pretty much is what it comes out to. So he needs to be playing like a $40 million quarterback, elevating our wide receivers there. But like you said, it needs to be a culmination of both these guys, the wide receiving core and the quarterback play. But I had a question that I was going to ask you, and I completely forgot what it was. So when it comes to Sunday nights, what are you expecting the Cowboys to do? How are you expecting them to start off this game? I mean, with Kellen Moore being our offensive coordinator, I mean, do you think that he's turned over a new leaf? Do you think that he's going to be able to actually devise a good enough game plan to where it's not predictable and stale the way it has been over the past couple years? Now I remember what I was going to ask you, and I'll ask you after this.
Kellen Moore is very consistent in the first 4 weeks of football. Once you hit that 5th week, Kellen Moore starts doing stupid stuff. Kellen Moore starts getting scared of things that don't work. He don't ever try it again. So he's going to have a great flow of this offense. You're going to see a lot of no huddle. You're going to see a lot of Zeke, and you're going to see a mixture of Tony Pollard. And they're probably going to be on the field at the same time, but only one can get the football, and it's going to be Ezekiel Elliott.
Yeah.
Their CeeDee Lamb's going to get double covered, so you're going to see like guys like Timmy Fehoko, Noah Brown, Jalen Tolbert. You're going to see them get a lot of targets early, and then they're going to start opening up some stuff for CeeDee Lamb. That's how I think they're going to attack it. Dan Quinn, on the other hand, it wasn't a wash and a rinse from last year's defense. They were able to implement more things because how fast this defense is. So you're going to see a lot of blitzing in this game, and you're going to see a lot of man coverage. I really think you're going to see a lot man and less zone.
Eshawn says, preach Cowboys Corner, in my opinion. Kellen Moore can't scheme around a bus driver quarterback like Dak.
Well, it's not even scheming around Dak Prescott. He can't. Connor Williams, he's going to hold, but you run the ball right behind him. You got CeeDee Lamb and Amari Cooper on the football field, but the only time he schemed for Amari Cooper was against the Minnesota Vikings with Cooper Rush as the quarterback. Yes, you can scheme for Dak. Play action. You get play action started for Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott's going to light it up in completions. He's going to light it up in yards. For whatever reason, play action, this is mojo. However, you got to be able to scheme against a defense for your wide receivers, for your tight ends, for your running backs, and Kellen Moore's capacity to do that is not very big.
Yeah. No, I mean, we've seen him do that time and time again. But I was just watching a commercial, and it just dawned on me that I wanted to ask you. With Tom Brady not playing all preseason and not actually being there for training camp or anything because of the off-the-field issues that he had going on, whatever they may be, do you think it's going to, with him being as old as he is or him being as in the league as long as he have, does it matter? Do you think it's going to affect him at all that he didn't get really any practice or playing time in the preseason?
Brady, this is Tom Brady's playbook, so he knows the playbook. Todd Bowles, the head coach, is for defense. Tom Brady runs that offense. This is Tom Brady's playbook. After the first snap, it's like riding a bike for Tom Brady. He's done it for so long. He has multiple Super Bowl rings to go with it. So, I mean, we can't take anything lightly when it comes to the name of Tom Brady. You see 12 on the field, dot your I's, cross your T's, you got to go get him. You got to go get him. I don't care what he's going through off the field, because on the field, like Dak Prescott says, I played football, I understand it. When you're on the field, you forget that there's even people's in the stands. You just locked in. You can't even hear the fans, right? Because you're just so locked in. And so once Tom Brady's on there, it's strictly business, and that's football.
Yeah, no, for sure. When we were talking about Kellen Moore here a second ago, do you feel or do you think that Mike McCarthy is going to have any input on this offense? Because besides being a head coach, what is he, just a cheerleader on the side? Because I know that it's basically Kellen Moore running this offense Do you think that Mike McCarthy is going to have any say in what goes on, what kind of plays that Kellen Moore starts to run, that he runs, if it starts to go stale, like we talked about?
Mike McCarthy did a press conference, and he said that whoever calls the plays has to be the people that get in the meeting rooms with the offense. He says they have to lay down the game plan. They have to do what's expected and put that game plan together because they're the one calling the plays. If Mike McCarthy wants to call plays, you could put your trust in Dan Quinn and you're able to take control of that offense and set Kellen Moore aside just to be like a passing coordinator or something, which he needs to be that. But if Mike McCarthy wants to do anything, he has to be able to structure all that together, meetings, etc. Because Mike McCarthy's only in a meeting probably an hour and a half at the most every other day, right? He's not in front of this team every day. His coordinators come to him and tell him what's going on. And so that's just what it is. And so if Mike McCarthy wants to be more involved in this offense, he has to be more involved, but he has to be more in meetings and things of that nature, getting game plans, talking to Dak Prescott about film, what Dak Prescott's seeing, what plays is going to work, what plays does Dak Prescott like for that game. There's a lot that goes into prepping for a game. I mean, you've got 60 plays that you're going to call, and they have to put all that together. Is Mike McCarthy capable of it? Yes, he's done it before. Does Mike McCarthy want to do it at this stage in his career? Probably not, because if he did, he would have done it when he brought everybody in that he wanted to bring in. He even brought in Mike Nolan, that sorry sack of potatoes. He was able to bring in Mike Nolan, but not able to take over play calling. It ain't Jerry Jones. It's Mike McCarthy. And when Mike McCarthy's ready, he'll do it. Does he want to do that at this stage of his career? Probably not.
Yeah, no. Yeah, I mean, I guess, yeah, 60 plays preparing. That's a lot. I mean, I guess he's just the guy, I guess, on the side that does game management, but he's not even really that that good at game managing.
He blames it on the stadium clocks. Oh, that clock was wrong. Oh, that clock over here stopped. That clock over there turned off.
So with what happened last season, the way we ended the season, is Mike McCarthy, do you think that he's on the hot seat this year if he doesn't produce?
Oh, and I've said this before. I'm sticking to it. If the Cowboys go 0-2, 0-3, Mike McCarthy's fired. Dan Quinn's your head coach.
Yeah, no, that was a lot to take in right there. Yeah, I mean, I because I was not expecting 0-2 because for me, and I've said this before, we just need to make it through. I think the first 6 games. Because if you look at the schedule, the first 6 games, it's Tampa, it's the Bengals, then I think it's Washington, then the Giants, or the other way around, and then it's the Rams, and then it's the Eagles, and then it kind of gets a little bit easier from there. So I mean, for me, I don't know. It depending on what I see Sunday, depending on our offensive line is, because that's my biggest question mark. Is our offensive line, how our offensive line is going to hold up. It's not even our defense. It's not even our wide receivers. It's not even our quarterback. It's our offensive line, because it's I get it. Zach Martin is the best right guard in the league, but he's getting up there in age. We have Terrence Steele. We have Steele, who I've heard different things about. He's good. Last year 2 years ago he wasn't that well. Biotish, is another guy. We got a rookie coming in, and Tyler Smith, and then Connor McGovern or 4-year-old Jason Peters. So for me, I think the way this offensive line is going to play, I think is going to dictate the way this offense is going to play and what's going to happen with us going into the first few games, I think.
Someone click on that, Jose. Can you click on that, Jose comment?
Oh, yeah.
Mike McCarthy going now here.
Now here.
Delusional. What? Do we not remember how pissed off Jerry Jones was when we lost against the San Francisco 49ers and he didn't talk to Mike McCarthy for like a week and a half? Do we not remember that? Do we not remember that he said that there was another qualified coach here on this football team by the name of Dan Quinn? Do you not pay attention, Jose, to the Dallas Cowboys, or do you just read articles, headlines? Did you click on the articles? Can you read them? Can you read it? Because you can only read what you can read, right? Pay attention. Listen to stuff. Listen to emotions. And you wouldn't put that comment, now here, delusional.
Yeah, no. So what are your thoughts for Sunday night's game? I mean, it's the first game of the week, or first game of the year, excuse me. It's Tampa Bay all over again. Tom Brady, I get it. He's the GOAT. He's 40, but he's 45. And to me, I mean he looks a little aged now. Before last year, he didn't look so bad. This year, he looks a little aged. I get it. We said it. You said it, that once you're on the field, it's all game time and seriousness. But do you think that this is where we finally get our win against Tom Brady? Because I think since Tom Brady's been in the league, we haven't beaten him at all.
It's any given Sunday, man. It's even given Sunday. And there was times where we came awfully close to beating them.
Yeah.
Trayvon Diggs almost had a game-sealing interception last year. It went off the tip of his fingers, right? We've been a fingernail, a hair, a now-here delusional, that close into getting that done. Can it happen? It can. Absolutely. Will it happen? Chances are it will. 24-13.
24-13 Cowboys?
Mm-hmm.
Corner, Jerry did say he believes in Mike McCarthy. Personally,
after the fact that the Sean Payton stuff heated up, after the fact that he said that there's a more qualified coach in Dan Quinn on this football team. He said that after the fact. Whenever you say something angry, you mean it. And he was like, oh, I got to calm down. I got to stop. Let me fix my suit.
Yeah. There was a statement Jerry Jones made, and I forget what the question was, but he did say that we were going to get in the playoffs. Do you believe that he is? Do you think we're going to get in the playoffs? I just want to know. Do you think that we're going to get in the playoffs, or is it going to be? I mean, whether it's divisional win or a wild card. Do you think that with the way the NFC East is, or just the NFC East, the NFC in general, do you think that we have a shot of making the playoffs this year? We
got a shot. We can go in the playoffs at 10-7. Can we go in the playoffs at 9-6? Maybe. It's gonna be really slim. You're gonna need tiebreakers and this and that in the third at 9-6 possibly to get in. 10-7 in the NFC guarantees you a playoff spot, and it's gonna be a wild card game. That's what they're gonna do.
Okay, so if we have a guy, a sleeper on our team, who do you think is going to be our surprise guy? Because it seems like every year there's a guy that comes out of nowhere for us that just steals the show, like a Miles Austin, like a Cedric Wilson. Do you think that there's going to be a guy out there that just kind of breakout season this year for us?
Breakout season or turning heads? You're like, I kind of want more of that.
Both.
Dennis Houston.
So he since we have Gallup out and we have James Washington out, Dennis Houston is going to be one of the starting. Well, I wouldn't say starting, but one of the guys on game day dressing up.
Yeah, they better, because Dak Prescott loves Dennis Houston. Dak Prescott loved Amari Cooper. Dak Prescott threw the ball a lot to Amari Cooper.
Yeah.
A lot. Why? Because he liked his route running and he trusted him. For some reason, I don't know what it is, but I've been hearing from the Dallas Cowboy organization that Dak Prescott really likes this kid, Dennis Houston. And I like he likes his run style. He likes his big playability. So I really think a lot of the times Dak likes Cedric Wilson too. I think Dennis Houston, he won't be the next Cedric Wilson, but he's going to be in that spot that Dak Prescott trusts to throw him the ball in certain key situations.
How do you feel about, I mean, I get it, Gallup's out, Washington's out, Noah Brown going into the game being our number 2 wide receiver. I mean, aside from CeeDee Lamb, none of our guys have a touchdown in the NFL. None of our guys. I mean, how do you feel about Noah Brown being our number 2? Which I didn't even. Did you see Noah Brown in any of the preseason games? Because
No,
I don't think I saw him.
no,
No.
no.
What was the reason for him? Is it is a practice thing still? Is it because you think he practiced hard enough?
Yeah.
But how do you feel about
He's
Noah
running
Brown?
with the
Are
ones.
you nervous? Are you nervous with that being our number 2 being, even though he's been a backup guy and he's been on the team for a while, and, he has flashes here and there, but I think it's a product of what's on the field already. Does that make you nervous at all with him being our number 2?
No, when you got guys like Amari Cooper, CeeDee Lamb, and Michael Gallup on the field, which we've had in the course of Noah Brown's NFL career with the Dallas Cowboys, you're not going to get a lot of footballs. And then you had Cedric Wilson to add to it. You're not going to get a lot of footballs thrown to you, so he didn't get a lot of opportunities. Noah Brown out of Ohio State, Zeke knows what he's capable of. He played with Noah Brown there at Ohio State. So now that you remove Cedric Wilson, now that Michael Gallup's hurt, now Amari Cooper's hurt, Noah Brown can actually showcase what he's made of. And he must have put something right down on paper for not going to get Beasley or a T.Y. Hilton from that question earlier, right?
Yeah.
So they were able to trust him enough not to play him in preseason and let him run with the ones and take it. Noah Brown has a lot of continuity with Dak Prescott, and that's why he's able to be that number 2 guy. I'm not fearful of it. I'm not overexcited of it, but I know Noah Brown's going to do his job.
Yeah, no. I mean, when I do see him out in the field and he does get his little flashes, I'm excited about his play. For me, I think, let's go back to that question of, who's going to be. I don't want to say he's going to have a breakout season, but he's going to be one of those guys that surprises you a lot, I think. If, like you said, he didn't have a lot of opportunity with Gallup on the field, Cedric Wilson being out there, Amari Cooper being out there. With him now being thrusted into that starting role as the number 2, I think he's going to be able to showcase what he does, like you said, and I think it's going to surprise a lot of people. And I don't feel like – I'm not saying we're not going to miss a beat with what they got, because Amari Cooper's Amari Cooper, but at the same time, you spend a lot of time with these guys, you're going to learn something. So I feel like Noah Brown for me is going to be that guy that I don't want to necessarily say breakout, but he's going to be turning my head, making my head turn and be like, oh, for real? You just did that? Type of guy.
No, I like it. And it's his time. It's his time to shine. He has his opportunity. There's no excuses for him.
Yeah. So today we heard some news that Dak Prescott, tweaked his ankle. But it had to deal with the shoe, didn't it? Like he said that it was his shoe, his ankle is fine, that he's going to be – I mean, we know that he's going to be ready for Sunday night. But at the same time, it's still kind of worrisome that, you put on some shoes and, now your ankle's hurting. I mean, I get it. I've worn cleats. They hurt your feet, but not really so much my ankles hurt because I put on new shoes. So, I mean, do you think that there's something there, or it's just smoke?
I don't think there's something there, right? Because he was limited in practice.
Yeah.
I don't think it's as big as people are making it. Obviously, this is your franchise quarterback going into week 1. If he says his ankle's hurting, I wouldn't let him practice. That's just me being a head coach. Yeah. That's just me taking precautions. Dak Prescott gives us the best chance to win over Cooper Rush and Will Grier. So, hey, your feet hurt? Okay, Cooper Rush, run with the ones. Dak, you're limited. It's common sense. I don't think there's anything there.
What was the deal? Because I may have missed it afterwards. But what was the deal of cutting all our quarterbacks and then bringing? Didn't Cooper Rush get brought back on the practice squad?
Yeah, it's roster manipulation. During the course of week 1 to week 4, you're going to see that they're going to call up. They won't call up Jason Peters this week. But you're going to see them call up Jake McQuaid, our long snapper, and you're going to see him call up Brett Maher as a reserve. So it's 53. Those 2 reserves give you 55, and then go back to the practice squad. You can only do that for 4 weeks, though. After 4 weeks, Brett Maher and Jake McQuaid's going to have to actually get onto the 53-man roster. So it saves guys like Dennis Houston, Simi Fehoko, Marquise Bell. It saves these guys that Cowboys want to stash, and it's able to keep players on your team longer.
So with these guys, these undrafteds, like Houston and Bell.
Marcus Bell, yeah.
Marcus Bell. What do you see them being on the 53-man roster after that week 4? I mean, Marquise Bell did make some plays in the preseason. I get it's preseason, but still, like, he did impress me a little bit, or quite a bit. You know, that I saw his name being mentioned quite a lot on the defense, and for good reason. You know, a couple. He had 2 or 3 interceptions this preseason, something like that.
One, I think.
Was it one?
Yeah,
I thought I saw it twice.
Had multiple.
Okay. So, out of these undrafted, who do you think? Which one do you think is going to make the actual 53-man roster?
Yeah, I think Marquise Bell is going to stay. Dan Quinn loves the kid, and big shout out to Coach Dante right here, guys. He does a lot of play-by-play breakdowns. He loves the Houston Texans. I feel sorry for him, but that's his team. He rocks it. He sometimes he does Cowboy play-by-play game breakdown. So if you ain't subscribed to Coach Dante, definitely subscribe. I follow him on Twitter. I love that he's interacting with the kids, playing flag football and stuff, and coaching them up something proper. So big shout out to Coach Dante there. Always showing love to me. I gotta always repay it back. Crap. What was the question?
You said Marquise Bell is going to stay. Dan Quinn loves him.
Yeah. So if Dennis Houston gets his time and with Dak Prescott running with the ones, he's going to stay. Semi Fehoko is the guy I'm concerned about. Not really concerned. I really think he's going to be cut.
So he's going to be cut. He's not even going to make the practice squad. Like, he's going to be.
Oh, they'll try to sign him back to the practice squad.
Yeah. But I mean, so are you still able to sign guys to the practice squad even though you've already cut down to that 53 or that 55 and you got your practice squad guys?
It's just the reserve. So it's always going to be 53. But 2 guys on the 53 have to get cut. Brett Maher and McQuaid's going to get called up to the 53.
Okay,
that frees up 2 spots. So whoever gets cut, as long as they clear waivers, they'll signed
back.
They'll get signed to the practice squad.
Gotcha. Now I understand it. Oh, man. Dude, I hate to get off topic on football, man, but this dad life, man, is something else, man. it's something else, man. I'm loving my son turns 3 months. I know it's weird, but 3 months in 3 days on Sunday. Sunday he turns 3 months, man. He's getting pretty big, man. I love dad life. I love it, man. You know, coming home. I hate it. You know how we were talking about earlier. I told you that sometimes I'm going to work at 6. I get off of work at 8, you know, sometimes. And, man, it kills me, man, when I don't get to see my son, you know, because I leave when he's asleep and I come back home and he's passed out, man. But, you know, and I can't wait for Sunday, bro. I just can't wait. I can't wait to see what kind of product that they put out on the field. I did have a question before we get off. We've already been on here almost 45 minutes, but I want to ask you this, which I kind of might think already know the answer to this. But I tagged you in something in what Jerry Jones said the other day on Twitter about it. It was either the media or people just aren't talking about us and we're not doing our job. I mean, is there something to read into that there? That if they're not talking about the Dallas Cowboys, then we're not. For me, I get it. Football is entertainment. It's a business. You want to keep your business being talked about so people come watch. But as a fan, does that kind of rub you the wrong way, what he said?
Yeah. They're Jerry Jones ass kissers, so they're going to say whatever they want to say to keep Jerry on their show. And it's not really the radio shows that I'm concerned about. Jerry Jones talked to the press after every football game. Mm-hmm. Jerry Jones, Mike McCarthy talks to the press every other day, if not every day. That's their opportunity. If you don't want to lose Jerry on your radio show, you're not going to lose your NFL credentials because you asked a tough question, media. I hate it when they're laughing and giggling with Mike McCarthy. They do the same thing with Jerry Jones. They let him go on and on and on and on about these stories. And they start laughing, and he's talking about hot dogs and marshmallows and vasectomizing the mosquito. And they don't ever get down to the nitty-gritty of what they need to talk about. Someone needs to give Jerry Jones a reality check. And it's on the fans, too. Jerry Jones with Stephen A. Smith a couple of weeks ago on ESPN First Take with Michael Irvin, Stephen A. Smith at the Star in Frisco. All these Cowboy fans are behind this thing on live television. Jerry Jones called Stephen A. Smith a closet Cowboy fan, and they started cheering. That's giving acknowledgement to Jerry Jones that he's doing a good job. When are we going to start booing him? We boo players. As Cowboy fans, we booed DeMarco Murray when he went to AT&T Stadium and played us against the Eagles. We booed him, right? When are we going to start booing Jerry Jones? We do it to players, past players, present players. Why can't we do it to Jerry? It's all about the fans. You got to hit Jerry where it hurts, and that pride. Start booing this man.
Yeah, man. All the important things I think to Jerry Jones that took place in the offseason happened. With the Coinbase or blockchain. There you go, blockchain, and a couple of other business signings that keep the Cowboys relevant, I guess, in his mind. And you call them all Super Bowls because they are all Super Bowls to him. I think that those were the important things that happened to him. Yeah, I think those were the important things that happened to him. I really don't think that. I think he just uses the Dallas Cowboys as an ATM, basically. I mean, he
made it an ATM.
Yeah, he bought them for what, $150 million, and now they're worth $5 billion with the B. $7 billion with the B. That is nuts, man. And I mean,
but shout out to him. Not everybody can do that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not hating as far as a business aspect of it. Make your money. I'm hating on it as, damn it, like this is my team.
He's made the NFL so much money. He went into the Hall of Fame not as a general manager that he's been doing for 30 years.
Yeah,
but he went into the Hall of Fame as an NFL owner.
Yep. Yeah, no, that's crazy. I mean, because if you watch, because I've seen it a few times, the football life of Jerry Jones, the things that he did when he came to the NFL, like, oh, you can only have Coke sponsors. Well, I'm going to go out and do Pepsi sponsorship. Doing things like that just change the whole business aspect of the NFL. Like, it's just ridiculous what this man has done. I mean, business wise, he's a genius, which kind of throws me for a loop there when I see players with essentially no salary cap signing these guys to massive contracts, and we're over here talking about your favorite word, and that's pie. Talking about pie and how we can't sign, I mean, even though we really didn't want them, a Bobby Wagner or a Von Miller to these big contracts, but yet other guys that have, like I said, no salary cap are signing these guys.
Yeah, no, it's part of being a Dallas Cowboy fan. Like I said, like at the start of the show, it's a roller coaster. And if there's anybody that can bring you on a roller coaster, it's the Dallas Cowboys.
And I honestly thought, passing of the torch, maybe it would be different. But I think it's going to be worse. I think it's going to be a little worse with Stephen Jones once that torch is actually passed. Like, it's like, I'm not kidding you. I like for a while there, I thought, you know what, maybe Steve, when Jerry's, not so much, around anymore, Stephen takes over. Maybe things will be different. We're going to go back to winning, yada, yada. But I at this point, from what I'm seeing, I don't think so. I don't think it's going to happen.
Well, if they want to build through the draft, you can't miss. And you can't botch guys like Randy Gregory on a long-term deal. You can't miss on second-round draft picks like Jalen Smith, Bruce Carter, Anthony Hitchens. They're not second-round picks, but they were drafted. Oh, my goodness. The guy out of Oklahoma, he was a defensive tackle. You can't miss on – what was his name? Golly. Oh, my goodness. What was his name? Defensive tackle out of Oklahoma. We drafted him under Jason Garrett. You can't miss. If you're going to build through the draft,
Neville Gallimore?
No. This was crap. We drafted him in the third round out of Oklahoma. No, not yet. You can't miss on guys like Taco Charlton, but Taco didn't play at Oklahoma. Who the hell? What's his name? It's on the tip of my tongue. Let me see. Hold on. Give me 1 second. Let me Google this. Give him a pep talk real quick. Boyz Corner. I'm Boyz Corner. Boys for life.
Man, little pep talk. I mean, it's Sunday. Dallas Cowboys versus Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I think we're going to put a show on. I think this time we're actually going to get the better of Tom Brady. I don't care that he is 45. It's still going to happen. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers are, they have a little bit of injury up front, and I really think that our defensive line, like I said earlier in the show, that I think this is going to be all about the defense, and their defense is going to showcase what they're going to do. And I really think that we're going to be able to take Tom Brady this time, even though they do have a Julio Jones and a Mike Evans and a Chris Godwin. But remember, before Julio Jones was signed to Tampa Bay, he was already a wash, and he was out of his prime and getting ready to be out of the NFL. But now that he's with Tom Brady, all of a sudden he's great, which I call bullshit on that.
What year did we draft him? Dang it. Oh, what is his dang name?
Hold on.
God, I can see his face, man. We drafted him out of Oklahoma in the 3rd round. What was his name? Lunatic, help me out. Wow. What defensive tackle did we draft like 3 or 4 years ago from Oklahoma in the 3rd round? Charles Tapper.
Oh, okay. Tapper.
You can't miss on guys like Charles Tapper. It was right here. It was right there on the tip of my tongue. Charles Tapper. Like we wasted a 3rd round pick on Charles Tapper.
Calvin Joseph might be another one.
Exactly. If you're gonna build through the draft, you can't do that. Like your draft has to be perfect because if the veterans leave, like Byron Jones, like Randy Gregory, like this, that, and the third, like you can't screw up the draft. Anthony Brown's here as a 6th round pick. You got it right. Congratulations. Right?
Yeah.
Oh crap! What the hell was his name out of Louisiana Tech? Xavier Woods.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can't miss on guys like that. You know what I'm saying? Like you have to, if you're gonna build, they have to be long-term players.
So that's another guy that they brought up, Calvin Joseph. So is it going to be Anthony Brown? He's going to be our number 2 corner. Anthony Brown, Jordan Lewis.
Yes. Trayvon Diggs.
But I'm going from 2 down. I know Trayvon Diggs is going to be a 1, but what's his name out of Fresno State? Simon's guy. What's his name?
Deron
Blaine. Where's he at on the depth chart for the corners?
I think he's worked his all. I think he's beat Calvin Joseph out.
Oh, okay.
I think he's 4th. I'm being serious. 4th? I think he built out.
I wouldn't put it past you. I really didn't see Calvin Joseph too much. I saw him, but what I mean by I didn't see him, I didn't see just enough of him out there to make me say like, okay, he's definitely our number 2. I honestly think that after this year we're gonna start to look to see like, damn, we could have drafted Asante Samuel Jr. and we took Calvin Joseph over this guy. Like you said, like, we had TJ Watt out there, but we went with Taco Charlton. If we are going to build through the draft, you can't miss. And you're not going to sign these big name free agents, which, Dallas Cowboys aren't doing anymore. Which, it is what it is as long as you can hit in these drafts. You got to be pretty much perfect in these drafts. And it's hard to do in the NFL. It's not like the NBA. It's not like, baseball where you have farm systems come up through to develop your talent, where you have, I think, like 20 rounds of draft picks. You have 7 rounds of draft picks. And if you're going to build through the draft, you basically got to hit on damn near every single one of them. Right. And it's tough to do in the NFL because you just even you have number 1 overall draft picks being huge busts, and then you got guys like Tom Brady that end up being the GOATs, at the end of their career. So it's very tough to build through the draft.
No, it is, and then you're banking on undrafted free agents.
Yeah. No, that's for sure. But man, I think it's about that time. I'm gonna get out of here, get ready for bed. Got to get up at 5 a.m. For work, but I can't wait for Sunday. Next Thursday, we'll be able to talk about what happened this week 1. Before we get out of here, Cowboys Corner. Let them know where they can find you, man.
Yeah, Cowboys Corner right here on YouTube. _ Cowboys Corner on Twitter, guys. TheFriscoReport.com. Check out that website. We got all the latest, greatest draft coverage there. On the Frisco Report on Tuesdays, the Boyz Corners on Thursdays. The Half Table Show is taking steam. Everyone's loving that show, so tune in to the Half Table Show, guys. Hit the notification bell on Boys for Life's channel, on Cowboys Blogs channel, and Fifth Quarter Cowboys channel. Hit the notification bells on their channel so you don't miss a beat.
That's right. And you can find my Twitter page, my YouTube page, and Cowboys Corner's Twitter page and his YouTube page all in the description below. Just click it and everything is there. In the description, everything is in there. So make sure you go check it out. Man, and I don't know what YouTube's doing, but these when you click the description, normally it would just be a hyperlink. Now it's like it has the YouTube symbol, and it's a clickable like squared box. I can't copy and paste anymore. I actually have to go into your channel now, copy your thing, and then put it in the description for it to come up. Normally I used to be able to just highlight the past show, all of our descriptions, and then just slap them over. Now I can't do that. I
appreciate the hard work and the dedication there.
Oh, you're welcome, man. You're welcome. But
oh yeah, you text me during games too. I forget.
Yeah, well, it's more of a Twitter. I think I do that on Twitter. I really don't text you. I think it's Twitter. Like, did you see that?
No, maybe you have to pull up the text messages. But
maybe I have. I don't know. It's you know what? I get a little buzzed, a little get drunk, and a lot of my feelings come out, and I get pissed off. And sometimes I got to vent. And I know you're there. You're there to help because you're feeling the exact same way I'm feeling.
Oh, absolutely. I'm pissed the hell off.
But all right, guys. Until next time, it was another fun show. We are out. Later, guys.
Peace.